Eric, do you always just invite everyone to your house? Because I thought I was special. And
Willie, you definitely are a very special case.
Belgians and girls.
Maybe not.
Good. What were you going to say?
Yeah, they have to pay the entry fees, of course. Just can't just walk in here.
Hey. 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 Chocolate. Chocolate. Chocolate.
Okay, coffee break's done. Back to work. Okay, so let's jump on to you have to have respect for other people's in the trails. Obviously, we were in the kind of the middle, and we met some people that were respectful and disrespectful. And obviously, we were going a bit slower because I don't want to take any risk, break anything, blah blah blah. What's your opinion, being a pro mountain biker for so many years? When should you let someone pass and not? And obviously we also understand the tactical side of it, that if you end up behind a slower rider in a single track, theoretically that is your own fault.
Yeah, I think it's twofold. I think there's two sides of the story. Number one is in the more social aspect of any bike ride, like the Wines2Wales, or if you do something like that.
Yeah.
I think if you ride at the back and you're only part of the event to enjoy it, to have a social aspect of it, I think it's really fair if you make way for somebody that wants to enjoy the trail, because that's actually kind of why everybody's there. They're there for the social aspect, to have a beer in the evening. But a big thing is, Wines2Wales consists of a lot of very cool single track, and everybody wants to enjoy it at their comfortable speed. So you don't really want to be held up in the single track.
Yeah.
So if there's a safe place to overtake, then I think it's really fair if you let somebody from behind come through.
Or when they ask beforehand.
Yes, yeah.
Like for example, in this footage that I'm going to show you now, where they just pass on the side like a kamikaze pilot. Yeah.
I mean,
it's all about respect.
In the racing side, it's a whole different story. In the racing side, if you are fastest up the climb or first into the single track, it's kind of, you've been there, you got there first,
So, okay, but my question is, if the professional riders do this with each other, what does it change for the recreational cyclists at the back?
I think in the back you definitely get, there's a lot of corporate guys, there's whoever, there's kind guys, there's arrogant guys. I've heard about a lot of, especially from the women's side, that the guys are shouting at the women because they're obviously not always as skilled as the guys. So I think in that regard, some people can be very disrespectful, and that is
definitely.
I think, in my opinion, it's really bad.
Yeah. Because me and you were making space for a lot of people that actually asked.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, if we can do it, many other people can.
Exactly. Yeah.
We only do it because we want to be nice. We don't have to. It's not.
No. Exactly. I mean, we want everybody to enjoy the experience. Yeah. We are racing kind of in a weird way, but we're not really racing. So, we can easily make space for somebody. But let's say we're racing maybe a bit more than the guys that are really at the back. And, so for them it's even easier to make a bit of space for somebody to enjoy the trails. But you also have to be safe. We spoke to some of the ladies. I don't know if you remember, one day we saw some ladies and we had a chat to them.
Yes,
and some of the guys are very rude with them on the trails. And they can't just jump off the trail when there's like a cliff or a river or a dam on the one side. So it doesn't help them being very verbal about getting out of the way, because you also have to make sure everybody's safe and get to the finish without any injuries.
So what we're basically saying, don't be a dick out there on the trails.
No.
Especially, in my opinion, I'm just going to say it straightforward. If you're racing for 30th or 40th position, no one really cares. Rather go 2 seconds slower and be respectful towards other people. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, let's go on. This year's Wines2Wales was exceptional because we finished stage 2 of the Wines2Wales with just before the Rugby World Games started, which we obviously won and knew we were going to win. It's
we don't even have to talk about it.
I'm not going to elaborate on that. any further. How cool is it that the Wines2Wales made tell us about the shortcut they made for the slower riders so that they are able to make it to watch the final?
Yeah, I think that was, quite unique and very special that during the Wines2Wales, that we managed, in the first event it was the semi-finals, and at the last event it was the finals.
Yes.
And obviously South Africa being the best rugby team in the world by far, of course we were going to be in those events.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg.
Obviously.
Yeah, we don't have to, once again, not have to talk about it, but very special. In the first event, it was on the Sunday. They made the start a lot earlier, and again that happened at the final event as well, where we started at 6 a.m. in the morning. The sun just coming up. So that gave obviously a lot of people the opportunity to finish the course.
Okay.
But for the slower guys, they made I think it was a 15-kilometer shortcut in the route where you got a 1.5 hour penalty.
Yes.
So you can basically get to the finish and watch the game. And I mean, how special was it?
Yeah.
Everybody, 1,000 or more people together in the beer tent,
celebrating together,
watching the game. I mean, you can feel the tension, and every time something good or bad happened, it was.
And it's no secret that out of all the countries out there, our country actually needed it the most.
Yeah, I think there was obviously a lot of media. I mean, you didn't have to go far to go and see the media. The president and so many people were talking about it. I mean, both the team captain and the team coach made very emotional speeches about the team and more about the country. That,
yes.
We're so incredibly cool.
And also that they made it possible, Wines2Wales made it possible with all the big screens.
Yeah.
That they had because there's a spur tent, there was two different, because half-time we actually got separated somehow. I think Eric just left me for alone, but he ended up in a different beer tent, and I was in a different beer tent, and it was everyone. But there are TVs everywhere, and big ups for the organisers for making it possible to watch.
The Wines2Wales organisers, they managed the situation really, really well to make sure that we can enjoy it, and I think for them it must have been really special to have it at their event.
And then to finish us off, we know a lot about my personal life. For the viewers out there on my YouTube channel, they obviously, that's the only reason they follow me. It's because I'm an attractive, good-looking, well-spoken guy, obviously.
Then I should also start a YouTube channel.
But in your personal life, not specifically road cycling, because we know that road cycling is different. All the hard guys go to the road, and all the guys that are scared of cars and trucks all go to the mountain biking side, like Eric here. What is your advice to the young kids out there who wants to become a pro? Not just become good, who wants to lifestyle changes, sacrifices he has to make to become a professional mountain biker like you were?